Dun, 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 dun. So, as a woman, it is very important to listen to the red flags that go off in your head. And my husband will definitely tell you, I don't have many red flags that go off, and he gets really, really mad at me sometimes. Well, there was definitely this one client, he had called me and wanted me to come over to take a look at his home because he wanted me to list it. And just when I was on the phone with him, there was just something that was a little off for me. And the fact that I even thought that made me be like, okay, I really need to listen to, my woman's intuition and take this into account. So I go over, I go into my living room and I'm talking to my husband. I tell him about it and I was like, so I have this appointment tomorrow. It's, in the afternoon. And he says, well, if you don't feel comfortable, because if I don't feel comfortable, that means he's freaking out about it. And he was like, well, I have a meeting, so I can go with you later. And I was like, actually, I was going to take my son with me because my son's bigger than my husband is. So we're driving over and I'm explaining to my child, which, by the way, it's, such a great idea to where I feel like I might be in danger. So I bring my kid with me. But he's 6 foot, 160 pounds. So he looks a little bit intimidating, more so than I do. And so we're driving over and I'm explaining to him, I'm like, look, I don't know if it's gonna be fine or whatever. So the plan was I was gonna go in, you're sitting in the car, I'm gonna tell him I have to take you to practice afterwards, which is why you're with me. And then once you see me go into the house, take about 2 minutes and then come in and say you have to go to the bathroom. So that way you're in the house with me just in case. So we go in and the place is a mess. And I'm walking through with the guy and he's showing me everything. And definitely, I'm still getting it's almost kind of two different personalities that are kind of starting to come out in this guy. And so it finally gets to the point where we're talking about price for the home. And I explained to him, what the value of the home would be in the condition that it's at and what the market's doing. And he grabs a paper and he rips it and he starts screaming. And my son's standing next to me. And I just turn to him and I'm just like, go. And we literally run out of the house and this guy comes chasing out after us. And I'm like, just get in the car, go. And when we're driving home, my son looks at me and he said, so did you notice that there was a knife in every single room of that house? And I was like, no, I did not. And I call my teammate Tracey later and she's like, so how did the listing go? And the way my mind works is all about music. And I'm like, the entire time I'm walking through this house, all I keep thinking of is Screaming Trees' Psycho Killer is playing in my head as I'm walking through this house.